We are once again back with our series on the overlooked, unremarkable, and unnoticed details in the lands of Skyrim. Today we're heading west to the treacherous expanses of the Reach. This land of cliffs, caves, waterfalls, forsworn, Dwemer, and hagravens is bound to have some mysterious tales for us to discover. Oh, also, subscribe. I'm supposed to say that, apparently, so thanks. For our first find, where better to start than the most reviled of the Reach's residents, the unmarked camp of a Hagraven. If you needed any more proof of their evil, you need look no further. A series of spikes protrude from the ground, sporting the bloodied heads of their kills, surrounding the altar at which they practice their dark magics. And speaking of this altar, here we find all the evidence we need for their foul deeds. A human hand, no doubt belonging to the poor victim of this soulless beast. And speaking of the beast itself, once you've spent long enough here, she will return home. Best be in for a fight. Our next discovery is unfortunately a tragic one. Here we find a tent, 2 bottles of wine, 2 cups, and a single bedroll. Clearly, 2 people were out here having a good time. Unfortunately, if we take a peek outside, we find them, as well as their attacker. Unfortunately, it seems we were just too late, as both have been slain. So I wrote this part of the script, and then I went to get the footage, and they're just kind of not here anymore. So that's weird. And I guess the bear got hungry. Anyway, from the information we find in a nearby journal, as well as the 2 silver rings that are supposed to be on their corpses, we can assume they were engaged. Truly a tragic loss. But there is a hollowed out tree stump nearby with loot in it, so that's pretty sick. And now, for the first time in this series, we're heading into the capital of the Hold to find what is quite possibly the most significant archaeological find in recent Tamrielic memory. When you escape from the Dwemer Keep turned laboratory in the Thieves Guild questline just before Enthir says the funny line, you leap from this waterfall. However, if you were to delve below the waters and take a look, you'll come across 2 skeletons. And whilst it is entirely possible these are the victims of the local cannibals, gangs, corrupt guards, or some other kind of tragic death, it is equally possible that these are in fact the remains of Dwemer. Markarth is a dwarven city, after all. Perhaps the relentless flow of water has brought these 2 into the light once again. Unfortunately, we will likely never know. Next up, we have a sight all too common in the dangerous land of Skyrim. An orc rests upon a chest of valuables, struck down whilst defending himself from the vicious wildlife, quite successfully too, it seems. So, what did kill him? Well, if we look not too far away, we find an even more fearsome predator, a bear. A rampaging, bloodied orc would likely be seen as a threat to such a creature, but it would seem after tiring himself out on the wolves, he wasn't quite enough of a threat. The bear, of course, did simply kill him for food because, well, he's still here. This seems far more territorial to me. But anyway, let's steal his stuff and sneak away before it sees us too. Now for our final find, just down the rocky hillside from Skyhaven Temple, we find a most peculiar sight indeed. A boat lies crashed against the shore, and within it we find a plethora of gemstones, as well as a strong box containing even more of them. If you're wondering how they crashed, the answer can be found in the water below. Barrels filled with mead. Don't drink and sail, kids. It would seem the owners of these gems must have perished in the crash. Why else would they leave all this behind? They must have been washed away by the current or devoured by the wildlife. Another mystery to add to the list, but this time a most profitable one indeed. And that is it for today. Another 5 things you probably missed in your Skyrim adventures. Be sure to leave a like and subscribe if you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.